ready to freeze, ready to be under snow.
Yeah.
Galen Unold is on the phone from LifeSouth Community Blood Center. We spent our morning on Saturday with Galen and the folks over at LifeSouth because they were doing that marvelous thing called the, hold on, I'll tell you in a second. I got the Keystone Pipeline in my head.
Okay.
The 5 Points of Life Kids Marathon.
Yes.
How could I forget? Good morning, Galen.
Hey, good morning, Larry, Robin. How are y'all?
Good, good. You sound perfectly clear today. Did you get a new headset?
Yeah, it's this new headset, so I'm hoping that this is the answer. So
It
thank
really.
you. I'm glad to hear.
Hey, are you driving right now?
No, I'm not. I'm not.
Are you in Gainesville?
So, but I'm sitting in my office, and this is where we've been having all the problems. So I'm
Wow,
gonna get there
what a
early and
difference!
try it. Okay, good.
What was the brand
Good.
name of the sucky one?
Oh, I don't know.
Oh, you don't remember?
The brand name. It was No, I don't remember.
What's the brand name of the good one?
I don't remember that either. I'm not good at brand names.
Huh.
I bought the good one, and I'm not kidding. It was $98, and I bought it at Best Buy. And this one was $32, and I bought it at Amazon. So
Oh, $32 is the better one. The better one costs less.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, and I bought it on Amazon. I just read the reviews, and I got a good review from a truck driver who said this is the best headset he's ever had. And it blocks down all the background noise. I'm like, I'm getting it.
Yeah, really.
So there we go. So I'm glad it's working, Larry. I really am.
Sounds really good on our end. On your end, how does it sound? This is like shop talk, I guess, in a way. But how's it sound on your end?
Yeah, it sounds good. But the other one sounded the expensive one sounded even better in my ears.
Okay.
But I guess the microphone just wasn't very good. So. For me, the microphone's more important than the ears. I know that's usually backwards for people, but yeah.
You know what's interesting from the event on Saturday? I know I'm changing the subject here, but
It's okay.
A couple of people have said, "Oh, it's good to see what Galen looks like." We forget sometimes that when we do radio, that nobody knows what we look like.
Yeah.
I read that comment, and I'm like, he's looking at that. You guys post me on Facebook all the time.
But
which is, yeah.
But
the YouTube videos and everything else. But that's great.
Well, I thought that too. But at the same time, most people, I mean, they listen to the radio, and that's pretty much it, So.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm glad I'm disappointed that guy with my great looks.
No, he was really excited to see what you look like, and that's really that's a plus.
So I wanted to tell you something that I was super impressed with, and from the run and from things you said. And I said this on the videotape in the narration part of this, but let me do this stuff first. The Penn Flooring sponsors this segment with Galen Unold, so thank them. They are the ones that make it possible for Galen to get on each day and tell us why it's important to donate blood, to remind us of the importance of donating blood. In just a second, you're going to hear how the 5 Points of Life is very instrumental in making sure there's a blood supply in the future. I just thought it was an outstanding explanation as to the whole purpose for the thing. In addition to simply having some pure, wholesome fun. But anyway, Penn Flooring has been providing quality customer service and beautiful flooring for more than a quarter of a century. Go visit their spacious showroom and see for yourself. The showroom is at 1201 Southwest 17th Street by the bridge over there, over the railroad track. Tell them you heard about them on WOCA so that they know that their ad is working, their sponsorship, and thank them for what they do for the radio station and for LifeSouth. So how's the blood supply right now?
I'll be honest with you. It's going to be interesting to see what happens this morning because of this blizzard that's coming through. I'm pretty sure we're going to have to help the entire Northeast.
Oh, really?
And they're the largest blood consumer because there's more people there than anyone else in the country. So we're probably going to have to help them out from what I understand. I mean, the roads are going to be closed, which means people can't get to work, which means the blood centers aren't going to be open. So I'm expecting us to make some exports out to that area just because that's where it's needed, which means we're going to have to kind of be low on our side. So, give blood. And again, it's, when you're talking about blood donations, it's really about just helping your neighbor, whether your neighbor's in Maine or whether your neighbor's, right across the street from you. I mean, we don't always know where the blood is going to go. We just know that it's going to go to somebody who needs it. So
That's excellent. And you know, the name LifeSouth might be misleading. People would think, and I actually thought this, that okay, the blood stays in the Southeast, in the 3 states that you always talk about, Florida, Georgia, and Alabama. But
it does probably 90% of the time.
But this is an exception.
Yeah, I mean, when you get to like, unless this could be like one of the worst storms. Of course, if you watch the Weather Channel,
that's what they say.
Home Depot's already been raided. It's one of the worst storms they've had in January and all this other stuff. So it's just important to know that if we can help, we will help.
So what is the Weather Channel calling it?
Iola.
I think it's Juno. I just went to the Weather Channel.
Okay.
Calling it Juno.
Okay, so this is a new one then. Iola was Friday.
Winter Storm Juno.
Yeah,
that makes sense. Alaska, Juno, Alaska.
Yeah.
Well, my son works in Manhattan and he lives in New Jersey, and there was a bulletin put out this morning that if you live outside of Manhattan, they're advising people not to come into work because they don't think the trains or the subways will be running
Won't be able to get out
in this afternoon.
Wow. I want to tell you how impressed I was, but first let's take a phone call. Good morning. You're on the air.
Juno. Hello?
Juno.
Juno, some of us saw your video, and it was fabulous.
Oh, good.
Do you know that?
I know it now.
You know? Galen, wonderful. I saw that video. It's just so wonderful to see all that you and so many other people do. And your sons are adorable and so well spoken. Could you tell people who haven't ever donated what to expect when they go? And I'll hang up and we'll all listen. Thank you so much.
There you go. That's worth telling. Yeah. What can somebody expect who's never donated before?
Well, what I always want people to understand and expect is that, one, that we're going to take care of them and that we're going to make sure that they are everything goes extremely well. That's our obligation to you, that we're going to walk you through the process, great customer service. First thing you're going to need to do is bring your ID. The second thing you're going to need to do is just answer some basic background questions. Thirdly, and those include some questions about your sexual history. So just understand it's not personal.
I like answering those. At least it shows that I had one.
There you go.
I was going to ask you about Tinder too, by the way, but
I don't know anything about Tinder.
Okay, go ahead.
And then you just donate, and the donation process where the needle is actually in your arm will take less than 15 minutes because it can't take longer than 15 minutes. So that's kind of it. I mean, it's really not that complicated. We try to make it as simple as possible, and you just kind of lie down there, and we'll walk you through it. If you've never done it before, tell us, hey, I've never done this before, and we'll make sure that we explain every step of the way.
And if I could add my 2 cents, if you think you're going to get dizzy as a result of donating blood, it's possible that you will. But my opinion, Galen can either tell me I'm wrong or not right now, but my opinion is that thought that you might is actually what makes you dizzy and nothing else.
Absolutely. Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's a mental thing. I mean, some people do. I mean, there is some blood loss there, and when you get blood loss, you could pass out. But the truth is if you feel like you're going to get sick or dizzy, you could talk yourself right into it. If you tell us, hey, I don't know about this, then we'll take precautions and we can prevent it. The biggest thing is to be a distraction. Elevating your feet, putting an ice pack on your neck. Those simple little things can make all the difference. And if we know that somebody has a potential of, being sick, then all we usually have to do is just talk to you, because what's amazing is you can't talk and pass out at the same time.
Wow.
Well, I think another thing to note is that if you do start to feel woozy like that, even if you're faking it, you will have a lot of young women suddenly paying attention to you and talking to you and lifting your feet up and putting ice on your head, on your neck. And all of a sudden you have a lot of young ladies just helping out.
That's right.
Well, that's absolutely true. And we can tell when somebody's, having issues. And so, it's pretty easy to notice. And then we can just say, hey, hey, how are you? What's going on today?
Yeah.
And We'll talk people right out of it.
And I think I must naturally look like I'm spaced out because whenever I go, they say that to me. I'm like, "You okay?" Yeah, I'm just daydreaming. Don't worry about me. I'm fine. So we have to take a little break. I want to tell you. Gosh, I better wait till after the break. So let's take the little break. We'll be right back with Galen. I want to tell him my thoughts about Saturday. It was such an impressive event. We'll be right back.
The weather is brought to you by myfwc.com. Safe boating is no accident. I have a lot of clouds and a shower or two this morning. Then clouds will break for sunshine this afternoon. It'll be a windy, cooler day with a high in the 60s. Clear, breezy, and chilly tonight of 38 to 42. Tomorrow, partly sunny and breezy, high 60 to 64. On Wednesday, mostly sunny and quite cool, high 58 to 62. From the Florida Weather Center, I'm meteorologist Joe Lundberg.
Legally Yours, brought to you by Fuller & Fuller Attorneys at Law. On the air every Wednesday morning at 10:30 a.m. with John Fuller, a board-certified civil trial lawyer for over 25 years. John welcomes your questions, from business to complex family matters to legal disputes. So tune in every Wednesday morning at 10:30 a.m. for Legally Yours with John Fuller, right here on WOCA 1370 AM and 96.3 FM, The Source.
Are you wasting hundreds or thousands of dollars on termite retreat fees? If you're not with Turner Pest Control, you probably are. Turner Pest Control offers the industry's only termite and pest control package that never charges retreat fees, ever. You can get started today for only $99. This is a value of $500 or more. This includes treatments, installation of monitoring stations, quarterly pest control, and a lifetime guarantee, all for an unbelievable low $99. Even if you have another pest control provider, visit turnerpest.com to find out how you can avoid paying those high termite retreat fees.
Looking for something fun and exciting? The Water Circus from Italy is returning to Ocala at the Southeastern Livestock Pavilion on January 30th to February 1st. Because of popular demand, Circus Italia is making extra stops in the area. Even better, they're offering a special discount for our listeners only. At the circus, you can get one free child ticket with every adult ticket if you say Source. For the first time in America, this unique Water Circus has limited show dates in Ocala for just the weekend of January 30th through February 1st. Daredevils will amaze you with performances on a 35,000-gallon custom water stage. See death-defying stunts, Laser Man, Mermaid, and a Singing Man upside down, all under the white and blue tent by performers from around the world. Plus, after each show, everyone can meet the performers and take pictures with them for free. Circus Italian is finally here at the Southeastern Livestock Pavilion, so bring the family. Look for the big white and blue big top tent. Kids of all ages are welcome. This weekend happening now.
All right, 17 minutes after 8 o'clock, Galen Unold is on the phone from LifeSouth Community Blood Center to remind us of the importance of donating blood. When you donate 1 unit of blood, you save 3 lives. That's about the gist of it. All of the other information is really just the details, right? And on Saturday, Galen was instrumental in this event that I believe he is either directly responsible for in the beginning, or he was right there at the beginning. I wasn't clear about that. But anyway, it was the 5 Points of Life Kids Marathon. So, first of all, Galen, I want to tell you something about the video itself.
Okay.
Last year, the one we did last year, in the last year, it has had 260 views. That's not such a great number, 260, right? In just 2 days, the new one has had 364 views. So I don't know what the difference is, but this year you have a lot more views than last year. I don't know what the difference is. Maybe because Robin is in the picture.
There you go.
Yeah, Larry was
there.
Larry was there the whole time. He was filming. People forget that. What school was awarded the check, Galen?
N.H. Jones, Dr. N.H. Jones.
Oh, okay. So they had the most participants then.
Yeah, and they got 2 categories. They had the most participants and the highest percentage. And one of the things I think I hope came across is just how important our PE is in the school system. And I was really, really glad to hear that the school board voted back in that third PE teacher. All work and no play is not good for kids this age when we're trying to fight obesity and diabetes and heart disease starting at the age of 14 now. Just getting these kids active and giving them a reason to run is one of the main aspects of this run. And so I'm really, really glad to hear that Marion County brought back that third PE teacher.
Yeah, that is good news. I wanted you, I don't want to say what you said because it really was your words, but tell the listeners again the connection between the 5 Points of Life Marathon and the influence that has on children in the future when somebody comes up to them and asks them if they will donate blood.
Well, the whole point of the 5 Points of Life is to raise awareness and to educate people in the 5 ways that they can save a life, which is blood, marrow, cord blood, organ, and tissue. And the 5 points, our main focus is actually children, because we want to build the donation generation. We have felt for a long time in the industry that the way to eliminate shortages is by just educating the public. Platforms like this where we can get in and explain the need and really talk about it. And so what we did is we developed curriculum where we go into a classroom and we talk to the students and we explain what red blood cells do. We explain what white blood cells do and platelets and plasma. And it's actually in line with the state standards. And we can do that in a fun and interactive way. And what it also does is we also give a tour of the blood mobile. And it takes away the fear of the unknown. So often people don't give blood because, first of all, they don't want to step inside of something called a blood mobile.
Right.
I've tried very hard to come up with a better way to call that, and I think that One Blood with the big red bus they're geniuses over there. But it's one of the ways you have to make it friendly in some way, shape, or form, and that's what we're trying to do with the kids in the classroom. Is we're trying to take away that fear of the unknown. We walk them through the buses. We explain the process, and when we do those tours, we usually wrap the kids' arms, in the Coflex and put on there, I'm a future blood donor sticker, and with the hopes of, when they become 16 with their parents' permission, they become blood donors. And what we have found, kind of an ancillary thing, is that these kids go home and they tell their parents, hey, you need to go give blood. And there's nothing more, there's no better guilt trip in the world than having your child tell you to do something, especially something that's really good. And so we have found that it's just been a tremendous program. Last year we went in and educated and presented to over 50,000 kids. This year we're hoping to do 60,000 kids, and it's one of the things I'm most proud of that I think I've ever been a part of, and I'm proud that 5 Points does it and that LifeSouth supports it.
And there was a veteran that was there, and he came up to Larry and I and said that his daughter was there, but she was on the bus donating, and she is 16. Mm-hmm. She is 16 years old. He was proud of that.
Absolutely. He's actually one of our board members, and his story is pretty incredible. I don't really want to say his name, but his daughter began running because he said, I want you to run in this event. And it was a kids' marathon 6 years ago. And so now she's on the track team at her local high school. And those are the kind of stories I love. And it just reminds us that what we're doing is the right thing.
Yeah, it was a fun event, and I think the spirit of fun, obviously adds to it as well. I mean, you've got that showbiz pizzazz about you. Or was it the right word, pizzazz? Pizzazz. You've got that showbiz way about you. That was an amazing sound system, by the way. I just love that sound. I can't stop thinking about that.
Our biggest complaint was that people couldn't hear it. And I'm like, because it didn't go around the corner.
Well, that's
And we had to move it. The wind was brutal. I was trying to see if you actually got the speaker tumbling over.
No, we weren't.
Because of the wind.
Yeah.
I mean, that wind, just so people knew, it was gusting at like 35 miles an hour.
It was powerful.
It moved one of those giant porta potties like 20 feet. We had to push it back into place. So, it was pretty brutal out there.
Yeah, and nobody was in that porta potty, right?
I hope not.
No, that would have been a ride of a life. Can you imagine that?
Whoa, hey. I've seen this on funny videos. I don't want to be a part of a funny video.
Isn't it funny? Larry, what are you doing?
Yeah, I'm sure that I would have been blamed. Yes. But the poor young man, I don't know who it was, but there was a young man standing by the speaker that you had set up on the stage. And when the wind blew it down, the first thing he said, I didn't do it.
Yeah, that poor guy.
I heard it was actually it's a friend of one of my sons that we brought because he actually goes to Howard Middle School and needed volunteer hours. And he got in the car. He goes, "I didn't knock it down, Mr. Galen. I didn't knock it down." I said, "I know you did."
Well, and here's another thing worth saying. You know, at the time of the morning when a parent has to say, "Yes, we're going to go ahead and do this," or "No, we're not going to do it today," the weather was so bad. I would imagine that most of them were thinking maybe we shouldn't do this today, but they still must have said yes because you had a large turnout. Mm-hmm. They showed up. I mean, by the time they were running, everything was fine. Mm-hmm. But at the time of the morning, you know what I mean? When they're at home, they're looking at the window, they're looking at the weather channel, they're trying to decide, is it cold, is it windy, is it rainy, you know? Mm-hmm. And they must have said, let's just do it.
You know, we had 400 kids, over 400 kids sign up. I think the final number is like 460 something sign up. And I think we probably had about a little over 200 run. But, yeah, and I completely understand that the parents just said, you know what, we're not doing this. But at the same time, I do have to say a great big thank you to the College of Central Florida. I really believe that campus just was a star, and the help that they gave us, and they rolled out the red carpet for us, and it was phenomenal. And I can't wait to just kind of further this relationship with them and all their help. Tommy, thank you so much for what you've done, and it was a phenomenal event because, in large part to the course and their help, and we had 90-something volunteers. An amazing event, and this no one person can do this, and so thank you for everybody who came out. It was great. It was a lot of fun, and I hope and it's all about the kids. You know, so often we have these kind of events for kids, and it becomes about the parent, or it becomes about something other than the child. But when that child crosses the finish line and they get that medal, that'll just warm your heart. You forget about the weather, you forget about everything else, and the sheer joy and the joy when the parents and the pride they have in their child for competing and completing this event. It's just amazing.
Do you know what I want to ask? I wanted to ask you, what was the purpose of the pace runner? Obviously, the pace runner isn't going to be the one who stays ahead the whole race. So what does he do? Or she?
What we actually did is we did a lead runner because it was a new course. And what we were really concerned about were the first couple of turns. There was this turn where you took a right-hand turn and then you did a switchback. And we were concerned about the kids getting lost. Even though it was well-marked, we had never run there. And so the lead runner wasn't necessarily the pace runner. They were more like the guide. And so what I told them, the first kid out was he runs track for Forest High School. He runs like a 4-minute mile.
Wow.
I said, look, I need you to just guide them until you get to the sidewalk, and then you can just go as fast as you want. And he goes, okay. And so and then each group did that. And so that was the purpose, is to guide them to get through the first couple of turns without us, getting anybody lost.
Yeah,
And it was pretty funny because he got passed. And he wasn't really paying attention because he was just running and he wasn't trying to win. He wasn't trying to go fast.
Right.
And I'm like, what happened? How did you not come in first? He goes, I never saw him. I looked up and he was in front of me. And I'm like, because I think the kid who won, somebody told me he ran 6 minutes and 35 seconds when he was the first person to cross the finish line. So he's like, he must have snuck up.
That was the young man, Donovan, right?
Donovan, yeah. We got him on the
6 minutes
video.
and 35 seconds, I think, is what somebody told me.
That's great.
Ridiculous. So, 1.2 miles. And, again, I tell people all the time, I'm like, to witness it is to understand it. Once you've seen one, it makes a lot more sense. And I tell this to every sponsor I have. Just come out. I understand your trepidation of you not really understanding. You come out, you see the kid's face, and I guarantee you'll want to be a part of this. And Dr. Jones Orthodontics has been our title sponsor for the last 6 years.
Yeah.
There's no way.
No
way we could do this without him.
It was a wonderful event, and you are outstanding in what you do. Your ability to organize, your ability to be the focal point and the spokesperson. I hope there's an award ceremony for you somewhere down the line.
Well, I had a lot of the credit, but Eric Martin and Ellie Miles and Bright Whitaker and Tom Davis and our advisory council. They did a lot of the heavy lifting.
Galen,
So, I'm just a small part of this group.
where is the Bloodmobile today?
We're actually at the Ocala Star Banner, the Ocala Sun RV Resort today out in the Dunellen area. So,
okay.
we're kind of cool. We're kind of happy with that. We're also at the Lowe's on US 441 in Lady Lake.
All right, go donate blood. Remember, it saves lives. And check out the video. It's on Facebook. It's on YouTube.
Yeah.
It's on the WOCA Facebook and everywhere else. Thank you, Galen. Have a great
my
day.
son's seen it like 3 times. All right,
Fox
you guys
News
are the
Radio,
best.
I'm Pat
Bye, all.
O'Neill, getting ready for the big one.
Stocking up for this blizzard apocalypse that's about to happen.
Like that Boston resident bracing for a huge winter storm in the Northeast.
We have a blizzard warning in effect for millions.